Elizabeth Taylor once saved Montgomery Clift's life by removing teeth that were stuck in the back of his throat after he crashed his car leaving a party that was at her house. And I am just dying to talk about it with you. But before we dive into all of that, hi, I am John Joseph and I create content about your favorite old Hollywood stars, so if you want more videos like the one you're seeing right now about Elizabeth Taylor and Montgomery Clift, be sure to hit that follow button. The year was 1956 and Elizabeth Taylor was on top of her game in Hollywood. And she was set to star alongside her good friend Montgomery Clift in the movie Raintree County. Elizabeth Taylor and Montgomery Clift were dear friends who had worked together before, and according to her website, they even had cute little nicknames for each other. She called him Monty and he called her Bessie May. Well, I guess one night Bessie May, Elizabeth Taylor, who was married to film producer Mike Todd at the time, was having a party at her house and Montgomery Clift was in attendance. But unfortunately, when he decided to leave the party, he ended up crashing his car into a telephone pole, totaling his car, and his body was completely mangled. Two things I would like to point out is that it was a very foggy night that night, but also he was dealing with substance abuse issues at this time, and I am not at all bringing this up to judge Montgomery. I am only bringing it up because this might have contributed to his car accident. Elizabeth Taylor, who was still at the party, was alerted by a friend of what had happened, and so she rushed to the scene of the accident. And when she got there, paparazzi was already there, so she told them that if they published any of the photos they had taken of Montgomery Clift, they would never be able to take any photos of Elizabeth Taylor again. And because she was the biggest star at the time, they listened to her and never published the photos. Montgomery was covered in blood and his car was said to look like an accordion. And had Elizabeth Taylor not arrived, he may have died. Elizabeth reached to the back of Montgomery's throat and pulled out two teeth that were stuck back there, preventing him from choking to death. Montgomery went to the hospital that night and returned to work 2 months later to film his movie with Elizabeth Taylor, Raintree County, a film that earned Elizabeth Taylor her first Oscar nomination. Elizabeth and Montgomery remained good friends until the end of his life, and she even advocated multiple times for him throughout his career. Elizabeth Taylor was truly the most iconic woman of the 20th century, and you will never be able to change my mind on that.